Здравствуйте. Welcome to This and That. I'm Dave Lees.
And I'm Jonathan Beyer. What a nice and appropriate intro, Dave.
Yes, well, this is the skating lesson. So if you are new here, please subscribe below. We are going to be discussing all things in figure skating. So smash that like button, give us some love. But first, open the door. We have a surprise. You know, we don't know. It's like Mr. Rogers coming in.
Oh my God.
And it's Jonathan Beyer's birthday,
Oh
so we wondered if
God.
everyone could sing to him. You know, so wait, how do you sing Happy Birthday?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jonathan. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
How old are you next?
No, you're still mother.
39. I'm 39, Debbie.
You are so excited. It's your birthday, Jonathan.
I love that. I love that.
How are you celebrating? What is happening?
Well, I had a small and appropriately sized dinner party last night.
Oh, my mother saw you celebrating your friend's birthday, and when I told her it was your birthday, she goes, "Didn't we already celebrate that a couple days ago?"
I admit that I put up a misleading quote because I was at a different birthday situation.
No, she stalks you on Facebook, keeps tabs.
And
right?
I like that. I like
Your friend is here. She wanted you.
Hi, Tessa. Nice to see you. Thanks for putting aside our differences.
Yes. She wanted to give you her best wishes, okay?
Yeah. She sang me happy birthday in French.
Now, we have discussed a new bit. So, okay. I sent a good friend a video of Trusova's triple axel in the warm-up. And I got a message back, and I thought, why don't we just play it for everyone?
Yeah, okay. I think it's a good, like, you know how you started doing, like, pause?
Pause, yes.
Yeah,
I was thinking, you know how Rosie O'Donnell used to have the buttons where she would just press something?
Rosie O'Donnell? Yeah, okay.
You know, like 1996 to 2002, she would press a button, and it would be like, music would play. Well, I think when we discuss jumps, we need...
Hi, David. This is Galina. It's not clean jump. It cheated.
It's not clean jump. It cheated. Okay? I just think whenever we have...
It's like a graphic where it like shoots up on the screen. Yeah, just a face.
It's not clean jump. It cheated. Okay.
But I'll tell you, it's closer than it was last season. I'll tell you.
Yes. Okay. There's so much to discuss. So much. Okay. So I've had a bit of an interesting week. So let's just get to it. Okay?
Yeah, because I have lots of questions. Yeah, on that front, and then of course there's the
All right.
Yeah.
So by now it's no secret that the USFS strongly advised pair teams, at least 3, to leave the monument rink. This would be Tara Kane and Danny O'Shea. Remember, Danny just bought a house there, so that's a little bit of an inconvenient time to move. And both Finster teams. And remember, the Finsters were very loyal to Delilah. Remember, the mother helped organize those red hats that we never discussed after the 2019 Nationals that, yes, they were Kansas City Chiefs, but they really looked like MAGA hats. And remember, this was all going on at the same time of the Brett Kavanaugh hearing, and it was really kind of the Me Too pushback that was going on with the backlash.
Yeah.
So they really looked like MAGA hats there on the first date of Nationals, which we never discussed because it was such a lovely event, thanks to Delilah Sappenfeld. If you remember, because I shared something that was a public document, publicly available, but being ignored by the powers that be because it was someone very liked. After that happened, 2 other people came forward, and then John Coughlin was then suspended, and then a series of events happened. And because I reported a public fact, but meanwhile, there were many accusations. And John Coughlin did what he did. Delilah implied that I was a murderer to the press. And then she had someone named Candace actually say it, like the skating lesson, but she just like implied that the media did it. But she also had very verbose messages that were extremely pointed on her
That
face.
was a dark time for many weeks, for many
Dark
reasons.
time.
Yeah.
And then I actually took down the channel at the time because it got picked up by a conservative blog that was talking about false accusations and I started getting death threats. And I was like, oh my goodness, like what if this winds up on Fox News? You know, like let's just like take, and like all of it, like, you don't know who's out, like the skating people is one thing. Like if this gets picked up as some like Brett Kavanaugh movement, like I don't think that this is a, but it was a dark time. You know, Lori Parker's daughter used to send me messages around like every weekend, like the nastiest stuff, like you must feel really good about yourself. And I was like, whoa, like this is not what this is about.
All
like,
those blood on your hands messages and like, yeah.
Lori Parker, you know, top USFS judge, always was friendly with her, but her daughter used to skate with John and she would just like,
yeah.
So saved them all. So, you know, if we ever needed them. For this moment. So amazing is that we found out that there was obviously a reason why the USFS would have people leave, though why that is hasn't been reported publicly yet, but certainly heard certain things. And, you know, I had tweeted that they had advised them to leave. Then I noticed.
Well, we knew from the get-go because when Tara and Danny announced, it seemed very sudden and there was no plan in place. So it seemed
and there were no rumors that there was any fight. There were no rumors that there was tension in the rink. It was a surprise. Usually when someone leaves, people are talking before, during, after.
Right.
Now, the fact that the Finsters left when the mom organized the Red Hat and the son skated at a Coughlin tribute program, again, interesting, right? Like interesting choice, right? As Delilah was controlling that narrative. So I had tweeted that, and I didn't even use her name because, so then we move along and I noticed that the International Ice Academy of Monument is advertising a photo with TJ Nyman. Now, there had been some sort of an incident where TJ had kicked the ice in Colorado and he had gotten kicked off of a session. Delilah was very upset, and that happened shortly before they moved from the World Arena to Monument. Now, interesting is that they were kind of like, you know, using a kid to publicize the rink and to attract students as this is all going down and people are fleeing. And the USFS certainly knows about it because they were the ones that advised the teams, because these teams have been having tryouts. Tara and Danny were with Jim, you could see in the second ISP, which we'll discuss today. They were also in the Skating Club of Boston this week. Also, Skating Club of Boston may have had some positive COVID tests that they didn't tell people before the competition. That wasn't like really public knowledge. So that's also interesting. Yeah, just like lots of fun things happening in skating, like lots of things going on that allegedly may have happened. So we move along to on Tuesday when we do, anytime that we do our See Alive, we move it a day earlier when the USFS puts out the ISP so that we can all watch them together. So I get a text out of the blue from a number I don't have. I was actually on a meeting, on a call, and I ended the call and I saw that I had a text and it was from TJ Nyman saying, hey, don't be a stranger. Love that you shared thing with Mark, but I couldn't see it. Now, I learned out later that he thought that I had blocked him, which is all like from that incident 2 years ago. And I was like, oh my goodness, we're doing a show tonight. Why don't you come on? Because, Jonathan, at no point in time did I ever think that this text from TJ was genuine.
Right.
Not my first rodeo. I imagine that either he thought he wanted to figure out what I knew or that a puppet master may have wanted, right?
Right.
He said, yes. At this moment, I am like, okay.
Yeah, I was surprised too.
Jonathan,
Yeah.
I've waited 2 years for this moment of what I really never talked about it on this show.
Right.
Never.
Right.
What I truly believe, never. Was asked by different media outlets, like it was so ugly, let it.
Right.
So, now remember, we heard things.
Right.
about. I alerted my Safe Sport contact who works in the intake of information that TJ was coming on. They said, can you send us a copy of that interview when it's done? I said, absolutely. So that kind of confirms that there's interest there.
Right.
Just little nugget.
And how'd it go?
Well, I think they thought it went well.
They...
I mean, I imagine there seem to have been like talking points perhaps, or
He was prepped for it, you're saying?
I can't prove that.
No, it had a sense of that.
Or maybe mentally, you know.
Yeah, okay.
We learned like the sob story of life, like older women, like just like lots of like interesting quotes that we learned. And it was a fascinating interview for See Alive. And it was just telling. And he kept wanting to come back on screen. So he critiqued all of his competitors as well.
That's a tough thing to do when you're an active competitor.
Isn't it? Like that's special. So,
like a vintage program or something, or like we were talking about like former competitors coming and doing an old event, you know, that's very different than what's actively happening with your colleagues.
So, anyway, I heard that the Finsters were in Boston this week. Tara and Danny were there. We'll see where they wind up, but it's definitely interesting. And then Emma Tang had a lot of things to say on.
But then everything disappeared. So by the time I was sort of able to take the time to investigate, I wasn't understanding exactly, because then there were like, you know, runaway tweets, if you will.
Emma Tang is an activist. She's had a TED Talk. She's definitely a very woke girl who skated in Colorado. And though I was not there, from reports that I have, I don't believe that she was treated very well when she spoke about believing survivors, and might have been treated rather harshly by individuals. So just all part of a interesting, imagine when we were seeing the Red Hots, like what was going on in the rink at the time. So, you know, it's
a whole culture.
Yes. Oh, TJ did say that it didn't work out with the Russian partner. I'm paraphrasing because she wasn't on the same maturity level as him.
I believe that, but probably not for the way he's implying.
Yes. So, but you know, they're really good friends and they keep in touch. So this is
great. Great.
So, and he told us that like he bought a Mustang based off of the music he's made from his like music career. He has some studio, you know, at the time, I think he has 39 subscribers on his music video channel. So it's all just,
just write something down. Yeah, okay.
I'm being very careful with that. This is what someone said. They go, this is what someone said. They go, you know, people get very mad because we don't set, whenever we pause, people add their own thoughts. So they think that we've, like, I never said what Emma Tang has claimed, nor do I like have any personal knowledge or anything of that. But I certainly read those statuses and thought, as many other.
I just get confused when they become deleted, because especially
because it was on a Instagram story. They last for 24 hours.
No, but I mean, oh, I see. So, but even when they're going through the tweets, it would say this tweet is no longer available from her and stuff.
I don't think that she tweeted it. Someone else shared what she said. Was
maybe that was the issue then. Okay. It's just when you're not experiencing it in real time and then trying to put together the pieces.
It's been a busy week. I like tried to call you to fill you in at one point.
I know, and I was like, it was like a non-stop. It was a whole cluster of what was happening for me this week. But then
there was someone who didn't understand our Surya video and was saying that I don't support interracial marriage, and I was like, what? I didn't like how the film Losers was edited. That they made Surya's boyfriend / partner like the only arbiter to decide that like her skating skills had improved. Like the way it was edited, I thought was cleverly constructed.
It's just like when we watch a skating program sometimes and you walk away and you're like, did we just see the same thing? Like how are you taking that away from this? Yeah.
A lot of fun. The person was like saying that they were a filmmaker going to make I was like, you know what? I did write a response, but it's just fun week. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, I think Suria's great. Like, always heard the most positive things about her as a person. Can't say that about other skaters. Always heard good things. So,
yeah, exactly.
The film about her, I think that a lot of people there's way more. I think the problem with certain discussions of Surya is that they're taken from people outside of skating, right?
Right.
So when Sandra Bezic is the only person that is honestly going into a discussion of skating skills during the Radio Lab podcast.
And they made fun of her almost.
She almost comes across like the white lady keeping her down at certain points.
Right.
But she was the one that was trying to explain things to them. I think it's just like a minefield to enter. So
yeah, totally.
Anyway, by the way, support Surya, support her marriage. One of the most entertaining skaters ever.
Yeah. A performer through and through.
Backflip, triple sow, baby. Okay, that is how I feel about it. So anyway, just loads of fun. So, well, let's get it. There was so much happening this week. We have the ISP.
Which do you want to start with, ISP or Russia?
You know what? Russia's really top of mind right now.
Okay, great. Ladies event was hot.
Wait, Jonathan, do you realize that what a gem Eteri is? Like, do you realize what a queen she truly is?
You miss a lot of the facial expressions behind the mask. You still see the eye roll at a jump error, but you can't see some of the mouth tensing moments.
First of all, I don't know where that was from, but the shot of her parking, and you know it's her car because it's the car that Putin gifted them that has the Olympic symbol on it from 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she took up 2 parking spots, which certain people were like making like, yeah, women can't park. And I'm like, that's not what I'm saying. Yeah. First of all, I sent it to Michael Shanley and like he made like at first a joke. He's like, well, not everyone can park. And I was like, think about this. She's a luxury vehicle.
Right.
You're the one that would dream to park of this. Like we've gone places in the dead of winter where he might just park a mile away because he doesn't want anyone to hit the Porsche. Okay. Yeah. He doesn't have like just like a fleet of it, like Yana Rudhovskaya, okay? the way I took it, she parked like that so that no one could ding her on either side. And I thought
maybe the doors open up sideways like the DeLorean.
I thought, what a queen. You park, you take up 2 spots so that no one can take you, like respect. And then someone was like, what does this have to do about skating? I'm like, this is about the power that is afforded to you when you are Eteri Tutberidze. This is a subjective sport.
Yeah.
It is part of like nationalism. I don't know if you want to say propaganda. I would say national identity, national, this is what the Olympics did, right? Yeah. I mean, that's why we have the medal count between the US and Russia and China. Like, it's still low key about that, right?
Right.
So, anyway, loved it. Was like, Daria Tutberidze. Loved it. Okay. Oh my goodness. It was so good. Okay. Now, do you realize that she was so inspired by Trusova, who flew the coop, skating to 3 edits of Romeo and Juliet, which Kosternaya had also done a Romeo and Juliet program, that Eteri decided, why don't I take those 3 edits and give them to Daria Usacheva? And they skated back to back. We didn't know. Many people did not know. I'm sure some on Instagram certainly did because they watched the practices. We didn't know that this was about to happen.
Right.
What a Sunday gem. Russia with this Channel 1 feed with Trusova commentating, which we like way better than Ted commentating, even when we don't know what all the words mean.
Get the emotion.
When that happened,
It was something. Dressed like an Andesman.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, incredible. Okay? Simply incredible. All right.
I'd say it gave Daria a bit more of an identity. Like Daria in general is someone that you know is kind of like a solid second tier Russian lady. Is how I've always viewed her, like on the junior circuit, like on the senior circuit, I feel the same. But this sort of made her stick out because you're like, oh yeah, the girl that did the same music edits.
See, I think there are people that think that we hate Eteri. I think we just appreciate her in a different way, okay? Like, I appreciate the dark humor. I appreciate the digs. The same way I appreciate Yana Rudovskaya. I appreciate how none of the Russians wear masks. Like, I think it is all amazing television, and I'm just glad that we're watching it from afar. Though I would love to be there during another time in the Megasport Arena that looks like Legos.
Right, all that color. I don't know if that's just to make it look full. Kind of works in this COVID time because all the empty seats look occupied with all that color.
Also, do you know that today, King Viktor Petrenko, president of our hearts, posted that he's going to be in the Novka show over the holiday season. And you know what? That's months, okay? You know what it is about Russian men? They love you and leave you, okay? You know, we couldn't have loved him more, and he just goes off. Like, come on, all right?
You with Mama G there.
Incredible, all right? Anyway, David, this is Galina. It is not clean job. It cheated. Okay.
I have to say, it's, again, much closer. Like, when we saw that triple axel from Trusova last season, it seemed a far cry that it was going to work.
Trusova. Jonathan, I want you to get into saying the names. Trusova, you know.
It's an Usacheva, not
Trusova.
Trusova.
You have to say it with emotion, like you are a queen, like Trusova. Oh, Trusova. Yes, okay. You need to be like Zdorova. You know, you have to get into your inner Tarasova when you speak Russian. It's all about
That was
Zdilina, Zdorova. Oh, yes.
They were in full swing, full tilt this time.
Yeah.
Now I have to say, I don't think Trusova's quad toe has ever looked better.
Well, you notice she's jumping more with her legs.
Yeah. I mean, I know that the Lutz obviously didn't work for her this time, but the quality of the quad toes was like a different.
She's grown taller, right? Yeah. And like Alyssa Liu has. And this is where you get into the adjusting technique. It's very difficult to adjust technique. But this is, I actually think Plushenko, even though everyone pretends that he is like, doesn't have any knowledge of skating, like people talk about him like a buffoon, you have to remember, he was in 3 Olympic Games, 4,
yeah.
2, 6, 10, 4 Olympic Games. Has 3 individual medals plus the team gold. I mean, he does have a lot of knowledge, and working with her, even though not working with her while Kosternaya's on the ice, because that is a sticky situation. P.S. I've been stalling on the video because I want to give it the proper treatment, okay, and how to represent these queens, and it changes by the day, okay.
So many updates, the nonstop, yeah.
Oh, speaking of Plushenko, did you see that Anna Sherbakova's older sister?
Well, first I did notice that was an egregious nose over the mask moment.
As someone who has a large schnoz, I'm not making fun of Plushenko, like, and a lot of people love his nose, and look, I am not one to talk at all, but she definitely like threw a little dig about the size of his nose and that it should be able to hold up a mask. I mean, I do think that like the way,
like obvious, yeah, you're like, oh my gosh.
I mean, the Russians give us so much, okay?
But I have to say again, he's so serious. Like there is this idea of like buffoonery around him, or like he's like a clown of some sort, and really he's very serious at these events.
I mean, he was a competitive athlete who went out and
did it under duress several times. I mean, that Sochi team medal defies logic.
You know, he's not unlike the great Dolly Parton, okay? Watching the Netflix documentary last night.
Okay.
Is it called Here I Am or something? And Jane, you know, Dolly was talking about how Dolly with the wigs and everything is like a character. It's her, but it's a heightened version, right? And that she's actually a very smart lady playing a dumb blonde with comedic overtones, and how she doesn't ever really let you know her political views, well, because she wants to be an entertainer, yet has them, and like lives a feminism by example without being like a bra burning feminist. You're right, like she's very subtle about the way without offending people, and that it's like an art. But Dali and that person, it's like a persona. I think it's similar with Plushenko. Like he has his media persona, his Instagram persona, then he has his let's get down to business self. So
yeah, I mean, and I see it working with Trusova. I see again her quads, even though we were being told to be excited by the number of them and the variety among them, they weren't so exciting necessarily to see for me, but these two quad toes were very
They're much bigger and more powerful.
Yeah, it makes such a difference, doesn't it?
They're not perfected yet. Obviously, the quadlets is not. The quad toe is getting much bigger and better. I do notice she has to adjust her loop technique. She doesn't do the triple Lutz, triple loop in the short program. And then when we saw it in the second half in the free, we saw why. It was not so strong anymore. But that loop jump is the secret to the Eteri technique. And that jump is no longer working for her after growing. So it's we've said this for years, and people have said, you hate Russia, you are jealous, you are whatever.
Yeah. Just
how these jumps work. And Alyssa Liu is having the same problem, and we talk about that as well. So interesting that.
It's not about size or changing, it's just about a sustainable technique.
No, I have to say, in the short, people wrote about, do you see a change in her skating skills?
I see improvements being made, and I think that's all you can expect at this.
Yes and no. She's nowhere near where she needs to be, but I see more of an attention and an attempt to achieve glide in the short program.
Yeah.
Not in the free. Her spins don't look as good as they used to, and I don't know why that is, if she's had some injuries or maybe just,
I just find the overall experience more palatable now. Because
I think it's getting there. I think it's getting there, right? They leaned into something before, and they're trying, and they have Elena Ilinich, who is helping her, and
I see those small improvements starting to happen, or the small attention to detail beginning to
I see it more in the short program when they kind of dress her like an old school Russian lady, like a Butirskaya. Right? Don't you notice they're lengthening the skirt? All the old playbook.
They're going vintage, yeah.
But in the free, there's one piece of choreography that I love that I want to put in my program that she has just not nailed yet. But she does a jump, she lands it, and then she does a 3-turn and a cross behind, and like it's like a side lunge where she's supposed to really give it, and she like rushes it and doesn't hold the edge long enough like Nancy Kerrigan to look sexy, to be like, stay and hold and then move. And we're like, you could tell where the intention is to help her become a beautiful lyrical lady. But
well, and then like you said, like, so she fell on the loop part of the Lutz loop combo, but she also does that cantilever entrance, and this has happened a couple times now. So it might be the loop also, but I'm just wondering, the transition into it, all of that kind of
maybe garish, if you will.
Well, also yes, but I think it's also making it more difficult for her timing wise.
No,
extra off.
When we see a cantilever and a skirt, I think on the show, that's a lot. That's a lot. Look at that.
It looks odd, I think. Yeah. And I think isn't helping the jump.
I don't think that it matches the music. That's what we'll settle with. It doesn't match the music. What, Jonathan, what do you like to say? What is the music asking for?
Probably not that. Probably nothing in that score says, here you should squat before you do a jump.
Now, people have been writing in about Camilo Vallejo's costumes. And
the blue and the white and the short?
Or the free one, both.
And
not my favorite. Some people, there's a theory that it's for religious reasons, and I don't know if that's true or not. So who knows? But that could, that they want a more conservative costume. Like having a more conservative costume. So.
Oh, like the longer skirts and such?
I believe that Zagitova and Valyeva are both Muslim, and I think that they want a more like conservative costume.
Covered shoulders or something like that.
I think that if that is true, that would make sense. Why she's drowning in fabric?
The bolero with the color choices and the scheme on the back, that I wondered if it was informed by something, but I wasn't understanding.
I don't know, but I don't think people were fans of it. So I think that they were like in advance, they were like,
Yeah. Well, and again, just to
When I saw her from afar in the warm-up, she almost reminded me of Medvedeva, and I don't know why and what year, but there was something with the length of the skirt and the cut.
and that kind of like long.
Has Medvedeva ever worn something like that? I don't know. It just like looked like her for me from afar. I don't know what.
I was trying to pinpoint more about what about the bolero just doesn't quite work for me, and it's just, you know, of course, blah blah blah, Torval and Dean, but like, remember Dick Button actually got it really right when he was like, they start as slow and stagnant as the music, and they let it build and build. And when she starts with that like hurried, cluttered, footworky, flaily army, she has lovely limb extension and all that sort of stuff, but it is so frantic and that's so and she's like already like climactically spazzing out, you know, it just seems like you're not listening.
I don't think it's really possible to do an iconic bolero in this field of lady skating, and people were saying that Costner would do it, and I would say yes, but these ladies are doing quads and trying to generate speed to do them at the beginning of a, plus doing a quad at that climax.
She can go slow, and that's what kind of worked for her bolero. It's clear Valieva has to be very transitionally oriented, lots of little steps, lots of like leg extensions, and that, so you can't have something so slow and exposed that way, I think.
Yeah. So, yeah, and that's.
And it now consistently misses the first quad by almost like over pumping it and leaning, and then somehow always coming back for the second and being okay. It's a fascinating thing.
I think she's in a transition period in her career as well. It'll be interesting to see how it works out the Olympics, but that's one that I want to watch.
Yeah.
Now, Medvedeva did withdraw, and they said that, okay, the article said that she was in the hospital, but does that mean that she went to the hospital for tests? I think that there's varying degrees of what that means, or is she trying to get a treatment for her back or something? But I imagine they're trying to do at least a performance at nationals, but I think, you know, more to come on that situation. Not surprised that she withdrew after how she looked at the test skate, but hopefully she can make it back. I want to see the Alegria program. That
without the gloves, so she can get that.
We need Russian nationals to happen. You know, it's my favorite part of Christmas. Okay, along with Japanese nationals, the juxtaposition. It's our Christmas gift every year. You know, I don't drink, so there's no eggnog happening for me, but you know, there's no vodka drinks, you know, near the fire. So please give me Trusova, give me Ilinich, give me Annabelle Morozov. Like, come on, okay? Just like wash over me, this Russian nationals. I just, oh my goodness. Now, I thought we were going to get the Michael Jackson program from Victoria and Nikita, which had rave reviews over the summer. Like, this was real. They were saying that this was going to like take on the French. And after seeing the French perform their tango, I don't know. I mean, it looks like it certainly has potential to be a strong program, but you know, Victoria had gone to, this is interesting. So Russians like have the attitude that they're better, right? Except for when it comes to healthcare, of course, we have to go to Germany for the treatments.
Well, for that particular gentleman, yeah.
And like always the same doctor, right? So the dance teams were there, and she was there for her knee, and then the knee popped out or something.
But yeah, I couldn't quite see what happened. They didn't really show it in the replay. If it was a move that happened, or if it was just like collectively, she was like, it's just too much, I have to stop.
I don't know, but I was like really into their free dance before this happened. I was intrigued what was about to happen. Nikita was giving us a little bit of chest hair that I thought you might be enjoying.
That to offer, yeah.
Like, were you enjoying it? Like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Jonathan, okay?
Amazing.
She was giving us the most, and then it happened. Also, Zulin, wearing a neck brace. He had some sort of a surgery. All right, this is when you need to wear a mask. Can you imagine?
You see, he had the mask. You could see the string on the side. The mask was like inside of the neck brace.
Well, maybe you need to wear it during, because what if that man contracts COVID? Like, Well, as people are yelling and screaming out, like there's a lot happening near the like. Could you imagine if you had like COVID pneumonia in a neck brace? Like, we need to protect these people, okay? Why isn't Trusova like in a little booth with plexiglass? Like, can we please protect her? Can we, like, come on, all right?
But it's intriguing to have seen the coaches on the side with the masks this time because we had not seen them at other events with them. So that seems to be a change.
Well, Eteri's was fitting very well.
And I was surprised, you know, she had the very elegant one and Danny G just had, you know, the standard issue.
And where was Hot Sergey this week? We didn't see him. He wasn't there. Where was Annabelle's hot assistant Ivan? We didn't see him either. So I don't know what's going to happen with Sinitsina, but it doesn't seem like this season is really going to happen. And I don't want to.
And if ever there was a season to let go.
Yeah.
Like,
so in Moscow, the cases are rising. Parts of the city we were hearing we're supposed to shut down, but maybe not the skaters. Both in Montreal and Toronto, they're really preparing to settle down, to shut down. And I think their cases, you know, for geographic area are probably on par with like New York and New Jersey right now. And Toronto and Montreal are both shutting down. And maybe some people will be able to skate and maybe not. It's very unclear, but it's the Skate Canada Challenge has been canceled. That's a qualifier for nationals. So you have to think, how are they going to have nationals? That's kind of the next question. Can they do something quasi virtual, or is this going to go by the wayside? Obviously, it doesn't look good for Skate Canada. I still think they might be able to get Skate America off just because of the political stuff going on right now. I don't know if Nevada will close ahead of time. And you have to kind of like watch the numbers and make a judgment call. I mean, when World shut down, we did not have nearly the number of cases that we have now, but then are we treating it better? All certain, look, if Christie and Trump are alive, like with those pre-existing conditions, like there are so many like factors going on. So I don't know, we'll have to see, but more to come, I think, on that.
Because I'm intrigued, like, so just thinking as they do these sort of virtual competitions, like the ISP, for example, like if this is maybe a model they might try to take on for something like nationals or something like that. Are they doing this in real time then?
Well, no. What do you mean? No. So when they do the ISP, it's usually the Wednesday and Thursday or Thursday and Friday before. That they have monitors like proctors, like when you go take the SAT, and then they have to have everyone judge it. And I don't know how many judges they have, but it's judged and then it's posted on Tuesday. It's actually, I'm pretty impressed by the speed, I have to say. I mean, look.
But the judging is happening, like the judge is watching a video.
Yes. Yeah, because they don't have any other option.
In person from USFS that's just making sure everybody's following protocol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah. But, I mean, all things considered, they're making it.
Yeah.
Annabelle Morozov, the queen of the Ice House, won because Victoria and Nikita withdrew.
Right.
And I do see she switched they actually switched their whole rhythm dance. She had told me she was going to get a new dress, but they had a whole new program.
That's why she needed a new dress.
Although, like Anna Sherbakova, I did see parts of the old program in there. I'm just saying, Annabelle, maybe, I don't know, like, maybe it was just like my love for the old program and the new program. I was just seeing things. I thought I recognized parts.
She's got a great free leg. Like, I just
does.
I just really love watching it. I know that's a weird
thing. They could have a little bit more abandon at the beginning of their free dance. I think that Kolya needs to change like the music a little bit. I just don't think that a sibling of Morozov is giving us as much emotion and drama as she could be in the free dance.
Okay.
And I don't know why the Test of Virtue costume is supposed to fit. I mean, it looks beautiful on her and her hair looks stunning, but she would look stunning in anything. And I think what is the story? I'm not getting the story. I'm getting beautiful, but I just feel like the beginning of the free dance doesn't have enough introductory choreography and mood setting before we go into the elements, and it's a little bit restrained. Yeah. I don't think of Nikolai Morozov as a restrained coach or man.
Yeah, set the tone. Give us that like attention-grabbing introduction that settles us in.
Also, the rhythm dance just sort of ends like in the. Cole, what's happening with your edit?
Like the old culture dance, where it's just like, and it's over. Yeah, like.
I mean, you know, I don't know. It was, oh, and we are done.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for coming. Yeah.
Annabelle seemed like she learned the dance pretty easily. Not sure about the new partner. He might have been doing the old program. I'm not so sure.
And you know, I'm just watching her freelance. So I am really drawn to her.
I love the exit to the twizzles because she does this like extend, like free like push that she goes diagonally, and it's very like Nikolai, like just like a little subtle like ta-da. So
it's nice. It's nice. Yeah. But I do think the Michael Jackson program from that beginning part that we saw did have potential to it. I mean, they botched the twizzle.
Why do they love Smile so much? Every ice dance program needs Smile.
The Michael Jackson version.
I don't think of that as being Michael Jackson's song. I mean, yes, he recorded it, but
yeah. But I have to say that.
What about Man in the Mirror? Do we want to make some change? Like.
Yeah, it's just so funny how much airtime that song gets in skating. But I
believe that Russian ice dancers need to skate to Dirty Diana. Are you kidding? That is what would like fill my soul. Come on. Dirty Diana. Dirty Diana. But you know my dream ice dance program. I want you to sing it, Jonathan. We could do it in a Novka show, or maybe Yana can put it on. You know the song Господи помилуй, which is like Lord have mercy, right? And the Russian Orthodox, they sing it as like, and it gets like louder and softer because it's supposed to be like the cross raising and lowering. All right, so I want a reunion of Elena and Nikita, like at Dreamgirls when the original band gets back together at the end.
Yeah.
So just for the show, we put Elena and Nikita together in the glitter, and Elena in the glittery cross. Maybe it could be a whole production number. Like Victoria could still be in it, and we could have like Baby Plushenka and like everyone else, you know.
You really thought this out.
Trusova, you know, glittery Tarasova cross. I think that Tarasova and Nikolai Morozov should choreograph it. And we just need like Elena to be like, maybe in a babushka, you know, and just like, because, you know, we're going to church here.
Okay.
You know, we need like the whole
Dave, get it. Okay.
Performance, Jonathan. We need the drama. We need Elena crying about her own performance and her love of God. Like this is the.
You need that 98 Tarasova response from the boys.
Yes, like this is the level of drama that we expect from Russian ice dance, and they've been holding back on us, Jonathan.
Yeah, it's true.
They can take down that Marie France, okay? But they just have to deliver.
Cool Russian style, yeah. Over the top, drama.
I have other ideas of what we could do for Yana. Write to me. I have other ideas for what we could do for Ilenik in the shows. I think she could be the Legend of Love. I think she'd be the great evil queen. I think perfect. We could have Kosternaya be like the good princess person, right? In a show together. Maybe we can like solve that rift between them that's rumored to be happening.
Through that, yeah, okay.
Fame, stardom, and a hit show and money. That could solve everything, okay, Yana? Like, I see such possibility, okay? Ilenik is just giving us so much, okay? And we could have her, maybe we could have her baby daddy choreograph. I don't know if they're married or engaged or what, but I mean, he's retiring every 5 minutes from ballet and then coming back because the audience loves him so much, so.
I need your video to come out. Like, I'm like barely following this like lineage of people.
You don't know who Elena Ilenik is? She was such a beautiful skater that Putin came to watch her at the Olympics.
I remember. I obviously know who she is, but you were talking about the documentary on the husband, right?
Well, the documentary on the husband is great. All right. I don't know if they're actually married. You know, you never know. Like,
to each his own. Yeah.
You know, I'm an Ilenik fan. Okay.
I don't know how one could not be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, anyway. That was pretty much it in Russia.
Yeah.
You know, just little things this week.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How about ladies ISP? Like
ladies ISP.
America. Lots. So I do have to give notes for one. I want to read it correctly. because wait, I'm supposed to talk about a local girl. And she said, Dave, if you don't say Lindsay Thorngren's program is growing on you, I'm going to come to your house and physically harm you. I believe that Lindsay Thorngren's program, to Sansom Delilah, is growing on me, Jonathan. I believe. No, in all seriousness, I do think that it is getting better, but it is getting better. But, you know, Yulia may have been like, how dare you say you don't like the music? So, but she's getting better and she's performing consistently, and we're going to turn her into more of a dramatic girl. So
great.
And I love that, like, Lindsay's coached by a Yulia. Her rival Isabeau, also coached by a Yulia. It's just so perfect. It's something so right in all of the world. Okay.
I mean, I'm really intrigued to like sort of get your take on like someone like Karen Chen doing this event.
Okay.
When I saw Karen Chen
skating to Katy Perry.
Yeah, but then also skating, what I was like, this has Olympic feels for Beijing.
Okay.
This kind of like long program. Whoever crafted this is picturing an Olympic moment in Beijing.
Okay.
And I was like, do you think that like Karen is like really preparing, like she wants to go?
Excuse me. She's against Brady Tennell, Mariah Bell, and Amber Glenn. That girl is in it, okay?
Yeah, like
don't be a hater. Don't doubt it. Don't doubt it. Don't you look away. Don't know it. Come on. She has the energy behind her, okay?
Yeah.
She has a boyfriend with nice eyebrows. Like, come on. She is...
And showed up, it was really interesting, showed up like really looking, and this is that thing, her videos made me feel like I was watching a real competition. Mm-hmm. Where so many others felt like I was observing a practice, again, with the people on the ice with them, or grainy camera, or tough music to hear, you know. Karen really gave you that like perfect setup.
She really...
Camera, quality music going, full blown, she simulated that competition. Same issues, spins beautiful, jumps gorgeously big, difficult to add combos to. I don't know where we're at, you know, more of the same potential.
Consistent.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, in Atypical, they have this metaphor about penguins throughout the series. Penguins are very routine, they don't change. Maybe Karen Chen is watching the show as well, okay? That Lutz combo, it's just so big and beautiful, and the toe is the challenge. But
yeah, just like you know what always is.
But she skates with more soul than the other US
and the spins are really nice. Like,
and I don't think we've heard about Karen Chen having boo problems in almost 3 years. So pure bends, okay?
Yeah.
I am
You grew out of that sort of cycle, I think. Yeah.
No, I think she had a foot injury and then it all kind of went along. But
I mean, if we're being honest, I didn't really understand like Amber Glenn falling out of the tank and withdrawing from the last one. So I wasn't really sure what we were.
You know what?
She seemed very.
What we come to expect from our girl Amber. Amber Glenn is also in it.
And that's what I felt like. I felt like she waited, if she waited intentionally or not, like, but she made a very strong showing here. The jumps are big and exciting, and she seemed pretty well trained, all things considered.
Amber gave us the most Russian move of all time. At the end of her program.
Although, albeit briefly, it's just like a moment of it.
Don't be a hater.
Yeah, no, I mean.
Do you think Brady Tennell knows how to go like this? No, Jonathan, all right? Amber was giving you drama. She was giving you makeup. She was giving you a new program and dress. And for someone that doesn't allegedly like to train free programs, I thought she was giving a good effort here.
Yeah, because again, for some, it looked like they were really running out of steam at the end. You know, like.
What did she win? Skate America. Amber Glenn, Skate America champion. Amber Glenn.
Amber Glenn. She has the skill.
She's gonna go for the triple axel. It's gonna be like Tanya. Will she?
I know, exactly. It becomes the exhausting narrative there. Yeah.
Excuse me. She can wear a seafoam green dress and go for it. Okay. Also, nationals are supposed to be moved to Vegas, is another rumor, because they may not be able to have it in California. So
Okay.
if nationals take place,
Yeah.
they're virtual. If they are, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting, like Amber Glenn moved up in my sort of opinion here as we're considering what happens in nationals. Is, you know, Alyssa has sort of solidified that this year is maybe not the year that she's going to become 3-time national champion, again, if there is a nationals. But, and you know, Mariah could have a moment, but Amber, I thought, really threw her name in the ring.
Well, let's see. This was your second exposure to da 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 da. What did you make of Skater Belle? You know,
well, what's interesting is she had both.
She is the whitest of the white girls in the land, America's sweetheart, the girl next door.
Skating to Pink and then ABBA. But like, she had the same similar kind of fall at the end of the combo, right? Where it was that total like beat up, bounce off like thing that
She was going for it, Jonathan, okay?
I mean,
so people were shading her, calling her a novice lady at the last event because she didn't do any triple combos. She went for it here, but you can tell how it takes time to work them into the program.
Right.
Because she did it in Japan in the short and it didn't look rotated with the flip toe.
Right.
So here, was it let's toe or flip toe? Whatever it was. When she went for the combo, it did not look completely rotated. And then at the end, she's trying to go to do the triples in the bonus so that she can maximize her points. Now, I choose to believe she missed that triple loop because she was so distracted by the horrible edit, and that's why she was like landing on the toe and like doing a little bit of
they were such disoriented falls.
We haven't seen someone fight for landing since Yang Bo at the '89 Worlds and event finals. I mean, she was like head to the knee. I mean, it was an effort, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, Skater Belle skating to ABBA. But I had a vision because, you know, this is maybe Skater Belle's year to like become America's sweetheart. But what if she's on a Kristi Yamaguchi path and this is Amber Glenn's year? Jonathan, like
a little 91 action here. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So I have to say, when Brady's program isn't even ripped off of US figure skating to be posted on YouTube by a fan, I worry that maybe the material is not exciting enough, right? It's just not speaking to people.
Right.
If there's no copyright infringement happening, how are the judges to be enthused by this? This is...
Yeah, I really thought after the first ISP, like this seemed to be Mariah's to lose. And I think it still probably is this year, but again, let's see what Amber does. But Amber's playing a competitive mental game too. We have to sort of see what happens there.
Come on, Amber. Come on. I think she has such... Can you imagine the articles that we would get about Amber Glenn? I sense such personality there, Jonathan. I sense a story. She's doing cryotherapy. Imagine the fluff piece. You could see her falling out of a cryo tank. I mean, come on.
Where it says dramatic reenactment at the bottom, she's gonna act it out for the cameras.
Come on, all right? She could be at the Pride Parade with Ashley and Tim wearing they could do like rainbow eyeshadow. Like, I just am here for it. And I don't know that you're on board enough yet.
You know, I have to see because it's very easy to like get overzealous, you know, from like.
I think she could be a Katy Perry girl too.
Yeah.
Also, don't tell anyone this, but.
Just between us.
After the Russian test skates, I downloaded Billie Eilish's songs because I've been a hater. Okay,
this is so funny that you did that because I downloaded all of her stuff as well, and that Bad Guy song I'm kind of obsessed with.
No Time to Die.
But then the rest kind of got too emo.
Oh no, I've decided that Kostranaya's short program is next level, and do you know why? The reason I really love it so much, because when it changes to the footwork, I truly believe that girl views herself wearing a literal crown as she is skating, okay? She knows, all right? Perfect.
Yes.
Stilina, all right? Like, it is just...
Amazing.
Yes, it is so right, okay?
I'm also intrigued to get your take now on if you felt any differently about the pairs having seen them this week as opposed to the first ISP. Like, is having this second event changing your opinion on anyone, or is it just solidifying kind of what you observed the first time?
Well, thankful. I just want to say that I am so grateful that Mervyn got a haircut after this event. He's looking so cute again. It was really troubling me. I couldn't see past the ponytail in the programs.
Yeah.
I messaged his coach, Jason. I said, Jason, you have got to make him get a haircut. And he was like, Olivia was already on it. She made an appointment. It took him 3 hours to get a haircut. He looks great.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, where do you want to? I think Jessica and Brian are really consistently finishing at the top of the domestic field, which is really interesting because there was such murmurings that they were going to be a flash in the pan after last year. No, I don't get what
are still something that I think would probably be worrisome, and I still
would
want
what would be worrisome?
the side by side.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and
An American pair, Jonathan.
yeah,
What?
exactly. Comes with the territory, but I think suddenly the U.S. seems to be behind them and giving them this sort of like extra bump. And I do like their lifts very much. I wonder if this is like an America-only team. I don't see international.
They do a lift that's almost a 360 degree around the rink. And you know that Megan and Eric taught us that the Russians only like to go from blue line to blue line on the lifts.
Yeah, I think their lifts are the best. They've really got those.
That lift just keeps going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny, okay? Yeah. I think she's a very beautiful costume. I just don't know what it has to do with the music for the free, but like maybe I'm not getting it. So.
Yeah, I didn't understand it either.
And I'm glad that he's leaning into the ass pants. I mean, you know what? If you got it, flaunt it, baby. Okay? This like pants, okay?
Tessa loved it, yeah.
Tessa loved it. I thought that he was looking yeah, I think that they look good. Again, the side-by-side jumps, hers tend to look under, so they need to work on that. And
his are always just kind of a nail-biter situation still at this
There's
point.
a little bit of a Jenny and Todd polish going on.
Yeah. And especially in the lifts. Again, they're really getting it for me in the lifts. I have to say, they have a lovely twist. They really do. So, and I thought that Alexa and Brandon's twist looks really good.
It looked bigger, didn't it?
It did. And the triple loop, the throw triple loop in the free program was really lovely, and she had a really great exit out of it.
And he throws differently than Chris did. Brandon has a very distinctive way of throwing. She's going to have to learn how to land. And I thought the first one, when she landed, it was gorgeous.
Yeah. And the ride out that allowed her to do that transition out of it was like really spectacular. It just seems like they're still sort of sorting it out, because then the same throw in the short was less successful. But
Alexa has gotten many points for her lifts, but now that she's against Jessica and they're both lift queens.
Well, I have to say, I don't know that the Brandon and Alexa lifts are quite there yet for me.
Well, they're new lifts for her because many of them were done by Haven and Brandon. They got to pick from 2 sets, right? And maybe it's what he's comfortable with. I like that all the pairs shade each other by being like, well, that was their lift. And that was, well, they have 2 people. They can do whatever lifts.
Right,
they could if they did another lift, but that's an Alexa and Chris lift.
Right.
But their one lift, when she's like this and her legs are, she's got to point her toes.
It's the picture of the lift. It could be tweaked, I think. Each time she's up. Yeah.
They have to go for every point. She needs to point that toe. Brandon is not committing to the Brian Johnson pants yet. And until he does, they need the judges to fall in love with her toes.
Well, what I was noticing with him was like this like big wingspan, and like they're just like side by side, crossovers and such. Like they do have like a nice, unified, athletic, strong glide going on. It's nice. I think it'll get there.
Now, Queen Renee Roca actually did work on their programs with them, but she's at Battle of the Blades. So when she comes back, I really think we need to work on that footwork sequence before nationals to have some. They need to put in one of those Russian like moves where they have to like touch each other by the face, because these two are not looking at each other yet. They look like Meryl and Charlie at the beginning of their partnership when they had to put the dot on Charlie's head so that Meryl would look at him. Remember that whole story when we saw the home videos? I'm still getting that brother and sister vibe.
Yeah, I mean, sort of. I mean, the other thing that I'm noticing is that they constantly do that like quasi, what's that like death swoop or whatever they call it.
Oh, like the death, like, yes. Okay, the Jenny and Todd, like. Whoop.
Jenny and Todd, not from up there, but it's just in the exit. And right now,
Listen, they're getting a feature, honey. Like, yeah, don't hate it.
And it's just at that point early on where I still see them coordinating it. And so I'm just, you know, it's just going to take time for it to seem completely organic. So.
Oh my goodness.
But I have to say the twist that perplexes me the most in this event is that of Ashley and Tim's, because in the short program, it obviously did not go well at all. And in the free skate, it was actually quite lovely with big height. It was like two completely different twists.
Sorry, someone post-tweeted like real anonymous, distinct accusations against TJ on Twitter. So
look forward to that. Yeah.
No, I'm not going to say these out loud.
Okay.
But all right, just doing
right out on a Sunday afternoon. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Yes. So
I was talking about Ashley and Tim's twist because the one in the Rachmaninoff, quite stunning. I didn't know they were capable of such a lovely one, but the one in the short really misfired.
But then a lot of times it kind of has that crash landing on her and his shoulder.
Like, yeah.
And the throw Lutz is still like very scary, but she does commit to getting that free leg up on the exit after the crash landing, kind of.
Yeah, they upped their game since the first one, but.
It is interesting to me though that they're number 3. They're behind a new team, and then Jessica and Brian. And I think he had a concussion over the summer, so they're behind. So it's an interesting mix though that they have not, even with their experience, pulled ahead of Alexa and Brenda. I mean, you have to think that those are 3 teams that are
some of the things that I think like Ashley and Tim have had to work really hard to sort of like make this partnership. And I admire that they've worked so hard to do it, where inherently Alexa and Brandon just kind of had some things so quickly, you know?
I think the overall program was really the strength of Ashley and Tim 2 years ago. That whole program really worked well together.
Different, and you know, their thing was they pretty much were consistent at a level, even it wasn't like the highest of levels, but they stayed pretty even keel, especially in that year when they came out ahead, when everyone was like doing such wackadoodle stuff in their program.
Yeah, I think they need to maximize some of their elements, that they're not like on the lifts or the side-by-side jumps. They don't think that they're really getting the points that they could be. So
no,
they need those standout elements. And it's going to be interesting to see. Remember last year, Alexa and Chris really were having some good death spirals and things like that. Those are all the kinds of elements that are going to make a difference in a year from now. So it'll be interesting to watch. I did like the Tara and Danny's ending to Carmen. I think Tara Kane needs dark hair for Carmen. She needs to look like more villainous for me than a blonde Carmen. In
my opinion, Carmen is not a villain, but that's all right.
Excuse me. The Tara Kane Carmen needs to be a little bit villainous, okay? We have waited how long for Tara Kane to skate to Carmen? Jim gave us every war horse. We had Phantom. We had Don Quixote. We had, Black Swan.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
They're giving us Carmen. Okay, this is what I think is so funny. Why did they have a tryout with Jim and then a tryout in Boston? Like, do you not know what Jim Peterson is going to give you if you don't know Jim by now? Like, this is...
Well, is it to reacquaint, to see how awkward it might feel, or to...
I don't think it's awkward. They're on good terms. I don't think it's awkward. Maybe they went there to stabilize and then they just tried out. But how awkward to be like, oh, old coach, we're going to have a tryout in Boston next week. Like, awkward. Like, that would be. See, I would have to try out first and then go to gym.
Yeah.
Just like.
Tough to know. I mean, tough to know. Does it feel like going back home in a positive way, or does it feel like going back in a retroactive sort of way? I don't know.
look, Tara and Jim, maybe we belong together. I mean, come on, you know, he found her. It's just, it feels like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's where I think. I mean, I think the Skating Club of Boston rink is nice, so we'll see what happens, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because they have solidified that they're sort of more and more out of that club.
Yeah, and then see where the Finsters teams go, and there are a couple other ones. And there are a couple teams we're skating with Drew Meekins and Eric Schultz at the World Arena, so there's a lot of things moving around.
I kind of want to get your take now. I was pleasantly surprised by the new rhythm dance of Hubble and Donahue.
Jonathan, you know,
for so many years, I have been trying to articulate, and I feel like I've never done it properly, where the same thing with Amber Glenn, you know, she kind of has this intense, powerful thing about
drag queen energy.
Kind of. And you kind of hope for that kind of program, but instead she counteracts it by trying to do very lyrical programs. And I just feel this was a total embrace of Hubble and Donahue's big skating, powerful energy, like own the ice.
Ba-da-dum-bum, ba-da-bum-bum.
That first one, that Express with Christina Aguilera, I was like, I'm here for it. I mean, I was here for the whole look.
Looking good too.
It's like, oh my God. But
you know, Zach hadn't been comfortable being shirtless in a while. Then he's very he's been working out a lot with Krigor Studio this year.
But the whole, I got an identity, and it was like cool, and it was current, and it was, I don't know, I was a huge fan of this material, and I have to give that credit because for so many seasons I've been like, it's not quite hitting it for me, and this totally does, and for me.
I am a fan. Yeah. I think their skating, even like take the music aside, they look much more confident than they looked last year at this time for whatever reason. And maybe it was that they were in a training environment and Chalk and Bates were there and they seem to have a lot of momentum. And then maybe that gets in your head because a lot of this is psychological. And maybe they have an extra energy after feeling like last year that they got the short end of the stick. I think that they have a more positive momentum and their skating is good and the music doesn't fight what they're good at. And I thought last year with their free dance, it had a side-to-side jerky motion. And I actually thought that A Star Is Born could have worked for them, but the music cuts that they did with the country rock fought them instead of just
so angular. And they're such big sweeping arc.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So a man that we know very well, and Tessa knows very well, Scott Moyer, did their free dance.
This is a woman.
The great Scott Moyer did their free dance. And yes, the Hallelujah is within their wheelhouse. And yes, Skater Bell just did use it. But
it's fresh enough for me. I felt like it was a different enough take to justify.
I thought it emphasized their edges and allowed them to stabilize what they're good at. And to me, they looked very like Grand Dame. They had Grand Dame energy when they were skating. They were just bigger and confident and
here's the thing, it didn't
ice coverage galore.
It didn't look desperate to be doing or achieving a thing, and it didn't look like artificial swagger or acting. It just looked like ownership and sense of
It looked like they stripped down the artifice of the last two seasons and they just did something, right? And it just worked. It just, you know, it's not the most out of the box piece, but I think that it works. And there are people that will not like it because they did that style, certainly 2016 in the rhythm dance.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm such a fan of the rhythm dance in particular, but I think it's so nice to just see them doing something that seems like a fit.
I just liked that they looked like expert skaters the whole way through. And the way I was thinking it is that Chalk and Bates are off the ice. We don't know exactly why, but they didn't look to have a cast on, so maybe a concussion of some sort. I don't know, but if Chalk and Bates are not doing Skate America and they've been off the ice, they didn't do the other event, Hubble and Donahue, you have to feel that they are so far ahead because it's almost impossible to catch up now of where they look in October. If they hold this energy for the next 3 months, you know, they would look at national title, world medal, yada, yada.
Oh my gosh, no question, because this also shows Chalk and Bates, we know they had a very showy program. It always feels back to how we viewed, or how we were told to view 94. Like Torval and Dean gave you the substance, and Oksana, you know, gave you the flash, you know? And Chalk and Bates gave us maybe not the most sophisticated in the Snake Charmer program, but it was so nuanced, it was smart, it covered what it needed to, it was super entertaining, but it could never compare to the actual sheer power and raw skating skills of Hubble and Donahue. It's just that they weren't showing that last season, and they do show it in this material. So I think they have Chalk and Bates have a harder time now trying to put up a program that can compete with it.
Yeah, there's just a lot, to me, you know how that they used to call that one number that Christy Yamaguchi did to the seasons, like Skating 101? To me, I thought this was like Hubble and Donahue Skating 101. They kind of leaned into what they're good at, big sweeping edges, big movement, lots of ice coverage. And I think it's a hit.
And when they do that, they do it so much better than everyone else. Their skating is enormous in person. So I think like the in-person takeaway from these programs would especially be outrageously powerful.
Yeah, I think they've corrected the stuff that didn't work before, and it worked. I have to say though, when Mariah Bell does her short program to that Pink song, I was like, this sounds like Hubble and Donahue music. I don't know why, but to me,
yeah.
I just don't know. I could picture them having that kind of vibe for their free dance. So
it was interesting. And now I'm also intrigued then, because
Hubble and Donahue, they could give us an Alanis program. They could give us so much that we.
Yeah. But I was pleased with this. It was so nice because I've always liked the team. Mm-hmm. So I was intrigued though, because Hawaii and Baker seemed a little vulnerable last season. And we have like Ponomarenko, you know, making some moves. The Saturday Night Fever is still a bit of a miss for me, because it seems like the poor man's Grease program from Olivia.
It does, but they seem confident with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's entertaining, and I'm sure they thought because the Austin Powers program was such a big hit that this kind of had that quirkiness. But I actually think that what they were doing in the free dance with this like softer lyrical thing.
Well, that's more their wheelhouse, right? That's been more their wheelhouse in the past. I thought that they looked more mature. But okay, so they're taking risks, right? But they did keep the Saturday Night Fever. What I noticed is that if Anthony Ponomarenko and his partner are going to be making a push, especially when she doesn't have citizenship yet, where Christina doesn't, they took two of the biggest schlock of all time. More people are doing Too Darn Hot than anything else for that rhythm dance. It's as if the ISU used it as an example in a video that they sent everyone.
Right.
And then Dr. Zhivago, it's just lacking imagination. Right. And it doesn't give us a reason to fall in love with them, because we've seen Dr. Zhivago a million times.
And so why do we need to see their Dr. Zhivago? They're not giving us like that big new take, like wait till you see their interpretation.
I notice that when they give us Dr. Zhivago, I'm looking at the strengths and weaknesses. I'm seeing that he's a very strong guy, but we're not seeing Cizeron or even Zach's skating skills. That's where the difference is for right now.
And he has them. I mean, Jean-Luc's skating skills are tremendous.
Oh, I'm talking about Ponomarenko, right? Like he needs to be giving us more.
Yeah, sorry.
So I think Hawaii and Baker are still ahead. I thought their free dance this year keeps them comfortably in a next level of sophistication and class and maturity.
It's safe, and I think it will keep them safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think the rankings have changed. I think fifth. I think Green and Parsons are a really fun team with the Prince free dance. A lot of booty shaking going on. We have Zach giving us some like action, John Luke, Michael Parsons. Like these boys are dancing, and I am a fan. So
now, Dave, I have to tell you, I did sort of skim through. What is it called? Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars.
I barely even remember Johnny. I just know he was in that tragic green outfit. But what I remember is, oh my gosh, Tyra Banks is just sinking on every episode. And then for her to have her like Steve Harvey mix-up moment. that she was so adamantly blaming on everyone else as she was doing it.
Wait, I missed it. What happened?
Oh,
Jonathan, I literally just watched Johnny and was like, I can't take her on this show.
And I had just watched the ending because I had heard about this. So, you know, they're doing this thing where they take forever to announce the next team that's safe or whatever. And they announced your girl, Monica, from Cheer, safe.
Maybe she doesn't need to be my girl anymore. I don't know. Okay.
From the show you watched, Cheer, on Netflix, Monica, when they announced her safe, it seemed like they were very relieved, like they might have been in danger of being in the top 2. Then suddenly there's the 3 teams standing there, and she goes, okay, bottom 2, Anne Heche and Monica, come on down.
Anne Heche.
So the other 2 teams that were standing there were like, what, you never said our name? And Monica was already told she was safe and she had gone backstage. So they had to come back out as the bottom team. It was like this whole thing, and Anne Heche was like irate, and like, it was just a total cluster at the end, and it was live, and everyone ran out of time, and it was just...
Moment of honesty. When you see Anne Heche, are you seeing Ellen DeGeneres? And like, just wondering all the nuances. I can't unsee it. I'm like,
I'm seeing not sobriety, maybe.
Well, Anne Heche was... Maybe Ellen has a type. She likes a girl that is... You know, Ellen is so antiseptic. When you see Ellen, it all looks like clean. It looks like everything is folded perfectly. Like even the vibe of her talk show seems very together, right? Like sterile, right? And maybe she likes opposites because these girls seem to have a lot of creative energy.
Yeah, maybe that balance works out that way.
Portia de Rossi, Anne Heche, like.
But Anne, I mean, that's a tough energy. Like she seemed a little like unhinged at moments, but in any case, it was just that snafu. It was like when Steve Harvey just called the wrong name.
So who got voted off? Who was that?
Anne Heche.
Poor Anne. Okay.
Livid.
They get into that Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah,
I would love it.
I wonder if at some point when you start to wonder if you've got a real chance here, if you start to.
I got some email from the Julianne Hough Instagram account to like be a part of something, but it seemed like suspect.
Okay.
Like brands and are they paying like, I don't know how they knew that I was such a Julianne Hough fan. Yeah. I mean, obviously.
That's funny.
I had her workout DVDs and I've seen all of her bad films. I watched that Jolene. Yes, okay.
You are a big fan. They were contacting the right person.
Listen, I'm begging you, please don't take my man. The level of acting in that movie, oh my goodness.
It's so stellar.
Stellar, okay. Oh.
So there you go. What do we have this week to watch?
I'm speaking. Excuse me. I'm speaking.
You said it too fast. You didn't let that awkward moment land. Wait, no, I just need to fly. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It was time to grab all that skating to just always offset all that.
I felt when she was watching Mike Pence speak, when I was watching Kamala watch Mike Pence and she was giving those facial expressions, I felt like I knew someone who just had that constant inner eye roll monologue. It was like looking in a mirror. I don't know. I was just getting so many.
The whole thing, I mean, obviously it wasn't as tragic as the first debate, but it's still, my skin crawls and I get so uncomfortable. I avert my eyes from the television, then I get up and I walk around, and there's just something so inherently uncomfortable about the format.
I think it's time to say goodbye. I don't know why I'm singing so much, but I think that, you know, Dancing with the Stars.
Sarah Brightman, Dave.
It's your birthday, Jonathan. That's why. We all just want to sing.
I love it. I love it.
There's just so much happening. Also, I thought Nathan looks like he's in a very good place.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan, I'm worried about this coronavirus, okay? Because people are saying that Jason Brown is landing his quads consistently, as in quads plural, as in toe and sow. Don't know if it's in the program, but, you know, and there was a video of him rotating 4 revolutions and landing. Not cheated, like clean. And it was like...
What were those? I didn't see those.
Instagram. See, you're very busy during the week now. You're like...
No, well, this week I just like... And I watched
Russell, like, I don't know what's...
And I'm trying to keep the phone at bay, and it's, oh my gosh, okay.
You're too in demand, and it's your birthday. So where can people, like, is there a, can you like register, is there like a vase store that you enjoy, Jonathan?
No, you know what my family and I always do though are those Amazon wish lists for each other for Christmas. I don't know if you guys do that. Like
We have a wish list of vases, Jonathan, if we want to send you a vase. Where do we get it? Maybe I want to send a vase, Jonathan.
Could you imagine if just like Art Deco Belgian vases?
Oh no, I'm very serious. I want to send you I want to pick out a vase of ones that you like, and I'll pick out the one I like the best, Jonathan.
Oh, will you? Okay.
And then we'll show it. We'll show it, and people can just admire. Vase. We can call it de vase, right?
Amazing. Yeah.
Yes. Lots. So yeah, I think everyone have a better week than TJ. Oh, did you notice that when TJ was defending himself, he picked a quote from a rapper
who just shot the stallion. You
cannot make this up, okay? It writes itself.
Yeah. It is neither classy nor bougie nor ratchet to be affiliated with someone who would shoot someone else.
No, but it made me want to skate to his song, I'm a Demon, okay? I don't know, it just...
You've got demons, you're not a demon. You've got demons. Oh.
How about when someone was asking why he didn't skate with Deanna, and someone goes, Deanna is not a social worker. And he was like, no, Deanna isn't a social worker. She is a pair skater. And someone goes, Deanna literally fled for the alternative. I mean, that sequence of events that was happening, there's so much going on. It was, my mind was exploding the whole time. I was trying to focus and rein it in. I was channeling my inner Eteri Tutberidze. I was like, what would she do in this moment? So.
We may never know. I don't think she's in those moments.
But I tried to channel Zaritz. What would she do? Okay.
She parked in two spaces.
She really did. I loved it. Okay. She is such a gem. Holden Edge, it looks. Oh, wait, everyone. Our daughter, Maureen Honda, also randomly had to improvise a program, and I didn't fully understand why, but she was still beautiful, and she had been injured with her shoulder, but she was giving us some triple toes and scary double axles. But yeah, it was a moment in Japan.
Yeah, I didn't end up finding that clip.
Oh, it's okay. You can watch it later,
I will, when I catch up on all the Twitter drama of Sunday.
Apparently it's a lot, okay?
No.
Blowing up, okay?
Yeah.
And just remember that Lindsay Thorngren is being very consistent.
It's really growing on you, that program.
It's really growing on me, Jonathan, okay?
Lock the door.
Well, I already have. We just like to really tease Yulia Lautova. She's just the most fun person to tease. Remember, she's the one that imitates how I nod when strong Russians are speaking to me, and she gets a kick out of that. So I may have told everyone in the rink to go up to her and say how much they like Isabeau as a skater. I think it was funny.
Amazing.
She just has that kind of energy, okay, what are you saying?
Just give her some cupcakes.
Yes. But remember, when you're looking at a jump, and it might seem questionable,
we can always queue up.
We can always queue up.
The ultimate expert.
Hi, David. This is Galina. It's not clean jump. It cheated.
Hold an edge and look sexy, everyone. Bye.